everyone, welcome back to my channel, my sabbatical series, and I am Jess the Princess. Before we get into anything, I just want to thank you guys for tuning in, seriously. It's a lot of work doing this. It made me develop a new understanding and appreciation for people that make YouTube videos or content like this. So if you can, give it a like, subscribe, share with a friend. So this is episode 5 of my sabbatical series. It is my last day in Iceland and I really wanted to go to Videy Island, so I made it a point to go there. Like I told you about before, if you get the city pass, you actually get a ferry ticket included. There's a ferry that runs every day. Look up the times if you're in Iceland. Don't make the same mistake that I did and be one of the ignorant tourists that think that there are puffins on the island. There are no puffins. I'm sorry. I did go during the correct time in which puffins are in the area, late May to August. But you're gonna have a lot better time and better luck if you go to like the southern coast of Iceland to see the puffins. Also, there are spots on like the east and west coast. I just think that Reykjavik is a little too busy for the little guys, so they don't really come toward the city, because other than that, Iceland is very not densely populated. There are like smaller towns and stuff, but Reykjavik is easily the busiest and biggest city on the island. So naturally, a lot of like animals and other forms of life are not going to be hanging out too heavily in the city. While I was waiting for the ferry, it was supposed to be like 30 minutes before I could get on the boat. So I decided to walk down the pier. I checked out the little lighthouse that they had down there and I saw some people fishing, which was really cool. I also went beach combing. I'm a big advocate for beach combing because you can pick up things like sea glass. Even if it is pretty, it is litter. So make sure that while you're beach combing, if you're picking up any little cool rocks, shells, that you're also picking up garbage too. Main priority when you're beach combing should always be sea glass, and it should always be any other trash that you can get out of there. Very happy that I went beach combing before I went to Videy Island, because if I wouldn't have gone, look how high the water was when I got back. Like, huge difference. And that was just about 2 hours. If you're not familiar with Videy Island, then we're gonna tell you a little bit about it. It is pronounced Videy Island, not Videy. The weird little D looking thing is actually like a soft TH, like mother. So it's Videy Island. Anyways, Videy Island sits off the coast of Reykjavik. There is archaeological evidence that Videy Island was actually settled as early as the 10th century. And then in 1225, there was a Roman Catholic monastery that set hold on the island. The monastery itself, obviously, it held like the island itself, and then it branched off also into like inland Iceland. But it was around like the 16th century that the Danish monarchy decided like, hey, no more of this, we're taking control. Those lands were confiscated. The monastery was still allowed to have the island, but the rest of the island was claimed by the Danish rule. And this was around the same time that the Reformation was going on, so obviously a lot of contention religiously. What sparked the Reformation, if you're not familiar, was Martin Luther, who nailed his 95 Theses onto a church door in Germany, and it sparked what would lead to Protestantism. So Christianity is the beautiful little rainbow that holds all of these guys. Catholics are Christian. Christianity isn't necessarily Catholic, because you can be Christian and Lutheran, Christian, Protestant, whatever. I grew up in a town where our religious differences were literally stemmed if you were Catholic or Lutheran, and that was a big deal, okay? Anyways, so the Reformation is going on in inland Europe. In Iceland itself, that monastery that has been taken control of by the Danish rule, it is held under Danish rule from the 16th through the 18th century. The island was also important for like religious roles, but also it was super important as an agricultural hub. They were able to grow a lot of different vegetables. They kept animals there, things like that. The dairy industry was really integral on Videy Island. They would process the milk and the cheese, and then they would bring it over on a boat, or if it was, you know, so cold out, they would be able to run it over, I believe, by sleigh over the ice. Then in the 1750s, Skúli Magnusson, who was like the father of Reykjavik, and he built Videy House, which was like a nice house, blah blah blah. Apparently it was one of the first stone buildings in Iceland. And then between like the 19th and 20th century, people stopped living there. After some amount of time, it just wasn't feasible anymore, so they stopped that. It was still used for farming and fishing for quite some time, but it ended up uninhabited. And today, nobody lives on Videy Island, but you can still visit. There's some really nice hiking trails, really cool bird watching activities you can do. And there's also like a lot of cultural installations. The Imagine Peace Tower that was created by Yoko Ono. It's basically a glowing light memorial that's dedicated to John Lennon. I wouldn't say that I'm quite a fan of Yoko Ono. I think that she's abrasive, to say in the nicest of terms. While I do very much enjoy the Beatles, John Lennon wasn't exactly a nice guy. Obviously, there's a lot of stories about John Lennon not using nice hands with his ex-wife, but also he was a terrible parent to his first son, Julian. And Julian is a very remarkable artist now. He's a really talented musician. So check out Julian Lennon. He's phenomenal. Anyways, so we go on the little ferry. Look how cute the little ride is. So cute and aesthetic. Walking around where this little farm area was, that was really cool. And I found a little something. This is the bag that I keep all of my Iceland stuff that I got in here. This is Bonus, the grocery store little baggie that I got when I was there. One second. When I was walking along by the little farm, I didn't go looking for this, okay? It was literally embedded in the path, and I looked down to tie my shoe, and I literally saw it in there. Don't go hunting for this kind of stuff. It's unethical, and it's kind of crappy, and I maybe feel a little bit bad for taking it, but focus. I found a bone. I found this bone, which is pretty cool, guys. I'm really hoping that it's an animal bone instead of being a person bone, because I would feel really bad if it was a person bone. I keep walking along the path a little bit, and I see this cute little bird, and I want to take a picture of him. I'll see if I can find it, and I'll put it right here. And like, this really mean seagull kept swiping at him, and it was really, really mean and nasty. I go to the farther end of the island and I start beachcombing again, and obviously I cleaned up the beach as I go along. I just want to remind everyone that if you're going to be taking any rocks or shells, that you also take trash with you too. So many people litter, and it is so disgusting, and it is awful for the environment. If you do take any rocks, really limit yourself. Don't take any. That's the real point of things, because it does contribute to erosion. It disrupts the natural order of things, and you should really just avoid doing it at all costs. Okay, bitch. I didn't get lost, but I don't really understand the map here, because it looks like there's a path, but it kind of leads to nowhere. And I think because it's like later in the summertime that they let it kind of overgrow. It's not like super overgrown, but I'm just feeling a little lost. I thought I could like loop around that end of the island, come up over here, and I thought I was gonna come up kind of by those mountains, or hills rather, but I kind of lost where the trail ended. There was like a little wooden walkway that led to nowhere and cut off the trail. So I went back the way I came, which was kind of a long way. But it's fine. And bitch, I'm sweating. Ah! Also, I'm crafty. I made my little tote into a rucksack. A rucksack? Rucksack? nutsack. This right arm's getting tired, dude. I'm used to carrying trays and stuff with the left arm, but right arm's gotta be babied a little bit right now. I'm not gonna make it to the 5:30 ferry. I'm gonna have to go back at 6:30, which is fine. I told myself I was gonna be out here for 2 hours. Oi! As you can see, I gotta keep my eyes on the ground basically at all times, because I am a clumsy biatch. They sent someone to come and find me. Thank you. Come back. Come back. This fucking seagull was just swiping at me like a fucking psycho. Oh my god. Girl, I'm fucking leaving. He's coming up right now. Ah! Fuck off. Ah! Yeah, bitch, now you're fucking scared. Try it again. Bitch, I'll fucking thwack your fucking head against this fucking rock. I fucking dare you. Oh. Goddamn birds, making me lose my stepping. I just wanted to take a little video of this bird that was sitting on the same exact perch he was before. I'll put a picture when I got him before. Then this little psycho seagull was swatting at me. Oh, bitch. Trash can. I can get rid of all the trash that I found on the beach. After nearly being mauled, I went to the Videy house and got some snacks. I don't remember what this thing was called, but it's like a chocolate bonbon with coconut. Super yummy. I had just missed the ferry by like 10 minutes, so I had to spend another hour until I could head back. I checked out the cemetery and then played on the swing and reflected on the trip so far. I was thinking about the remarkable growth I had already felt on this trip. I realized a day isn't ruined even after a bunch of bad things happen. I realized I couldn't control what others do, but I can control how I react, and that I'm already not the same person I was 4 days ago, as corny as that sounds. I'm 28 years old at the time of filming and editing this, and my 10-year high school reunion was just coming up this year. It feels like decades since it happened, but it also feels like I was just living it. I imagine how proud an 18-year-old me would be of myself, and then the proud 8-year-old who was on the swing with me. I may not be them anymore, but there's still a part of me that I carry and honor every single day. I think the cruise is taking off. There's the ship that's taking off. I was just doing a gratitude prayer too, so that's really funny. The wind started going off right then. Waiting for the bus, it's only like 3 more minutes, but whenever I'm waiting for the bus, it always makes me feel like, Mom, can you come pick me up? I wanna go home. And then when I got home, I packed and just kind of chilled. I had a really early morning flight. Like, I had to leave the Airbnb at like 4 a.m. And I was so sad to leave Iceland. Like, I did not spend enough time there, and I cannot wait to go back because it is absolutely gorgeous. But that just means that now I have a definite excuse that I have to go back because there's so much more that I want to do. Obviously wanted to check out the penguins, wanted to go whale watching. I really wanted to go to the town of Vik on the southern coast and check out the area there for the black sand. There's really cool hiking and waterfalls. There's like a million other things that I really want to do while in Iceland. But I'm also super excited to go to London. So very excited to show you guys London. It was obviously, as with arriving in any place, there was a couple hiccups, and that is okay. But anyways, thank you again for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe, share this with a friend. Maybe you know somebody that likes seeing hot, fat, chronically ill weirdos traveling around Europe. And if you don't, then maybe they like dope memes. So, thank you guys. I love you. Bye!